This is my average family. My dad, Brent, and my mom, Sharon. They've been together since they were 17, and when they first met, it was love at first sight. Together they had 4 average kids, but the definition of average can be stretched quite a bit. First there was Brett, then me, then Allie, and then the youngest, but the person who had the biggest impact on my life, Andrew.
When I was 7 years old, I got surgery, and that's when I knew I went completely deaf. And I cried when I saw my scar on my head. Huge.
Can you imagine going through such an elaborate surgery, only being 7, and not having anyone able to explain what was going on and what was happening to you? What was it like growing up?
It was like being the one that's out of a group being picked on.
So you were picked on a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when we found out that you were deaf?
7.
No, you were 7 when you had the surgery.
Yeah, but I did not know I was losing my hearing until I was 7.
Until you were 5.
No, I did not know. Mom,
but you're the one that was experiencing it. You didn't know you were deaf until you were 5?
Me.
Nobody told him. He thought he was just another kid. He didn't know he was any different living in that world of silence. From his perspective, everyone else was living the same way. Despite his struggles, though, my little brother is starting to become a very well-rounded person with great values and morals. As a child, he taught himself how to read lips. He didn't start talking as fast as the rest of us, but because he taught himself, he understood what we were saying and would respond in other ways. In some ways, it tricked us a little bit into not quite understanding he couldn't hear us at all. He was one of the first and youngest kids to get this surgery in Minnesota. Can you explain the hearing aid itself? Like, how does it work?
The one I have right now?
Yeah.
I got a magnet in my head on my skull. And then I had wires going through my cochlea. And I got this one.
So that little top part is the magnet?
Mm-hmm.
And that hooks right up onto your scalp?
Yep.
And then that little cord, what's hanging on your ear right now?
This?
Yeah.
That's the battery in the bottom behind my ear, and the front, that's a loop to collect all the sound that you hear.
So there's a little microphone in your ear and on top of that little round thing?
Nope, just my ear.
Just right there?
Yep.
So is this the newest model?
Well, not really. I'm getting a Neptune, waterproof. So,
how many did you go through?
2 or 3.
You had the first model, which, can you explain that?
It was just this top magnet with a long cord in a box.
And then that box hooked to your hip?
Hmm?
And the box hooked to your hip?
Yep, I just put on my pants.
Was that really inconvenient, getting in the way all the time?
Mm-hmm.
So this one's much nicer then, since it doesn't have that huge cord?
Yep.
Why do you wear your hair long? Is it to cover it up?
Yep.
Or is it a skater boy kind of style?
Hide it.
Why do you want to hide it?
To join in groups, not be noticed.
So you don't want people to know?
No.
Do you feel like it makes you different?
Yep.
A cochlear implant is a surgically implanted electronic device that provides a sense of sound to a person who is profoundly deaf or severely hard of hearing. Cochlear implants may help provide hearing in patients that are deaf due to damage of the sensory hair cells in the cochlea. It allows sound to bypass the eardrum and sends the signal straight to the brain. It's also referred to as the bionic ear. What was the first thing you thought, the first thing that ran through your head when you got out of surgery and got to put your hearing aid for the first time?
I wanted water.
You wanted water?
I was thirsty, and I was like crying and got some water and then puked. It was pretty bad.
Well, what was the after puking thought?
I wanted more water.
Were you excited?
I kind of was. I didn't know how long I passed out.
You were out for a while?
Oh.
A long time.
That's a lie. But okay.
Since the surgery, life has had some great improvements. He has a much louder perspective on life. Without this procedure, even the simplest tasks, such as speaking, would not be possible, something we all take for granted.
Later on, over the years, I had tests and weird people helping me out, and I didn't know what was going on. And then later on, I was a happy little kid. Didn't care until I found out later kids were picking on me, pointing at me and saying, "Oh, look at that, what's on his head? Ooh."
It's sad how some people treat my little brother. Just because he looks slightly different doesn't mean he is any different. He has already been through so much, and he already knows that every day will be a fight for him to crack the status quo. But that doesn't stop him from being the fun-loving kid I grew up with. What are some of your hobbies?
One of my hobbies are go hunting, drive my three-wheeler, and play guitar.
Everybody in my family has some sort of musical talent. My dad's a singer, my older brother plays drums, my little sister plays keyboard, and even Andrew, after he got his hearing aid, picked up a guitar. He practices day and night, and he's actually really, really good. And he doesn't really go off chords either. He listens to the song maybe once or twice, and he can master it just by telling the differences between the tones. That's pretty good for a kid who couldn't hear. That's pretty good. How did you teach yourself how to do that?
Well, I listened to the right beat.
So you just kept listening to the song over and over again until you got it?
Yep.
So technically, you taught yourself how to play that song by ear? So it's pretty good that you could learn how to play an amazing song with complex chords by ear, even though you can't use your ears.
No.
You are a very talented musician, Andrew.
Yep, I'll show you one song, too.
And you can tune that by ear, too?
Mm-hmm.
And you're tuning that by ear?
Nope. I gotta get a tune. I can't hear well right now. Oh, I see. I tuned down all these.
You are pretty good.
No.
You don't think you're good? You're very modest.
No, I had to practice.
Well, practice makes perfect. How long have you been playing?
Less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years and you can already play a song like that?
Yeah. I can even play electric, but I don't want to get my guitar.
So you can play acoustic, electric. Do you play any other instruments?
I play the drums a little bit.
A little bit? Mm-hmm. So you're very multi-talented in music, which takes most people years to be able to play just that one song. And yet you mastered it in less than 2 years.
Yep.
Without the ability to hear. Well, Andrew, you're one of my biggest inspirations. I don't feel bad for my brother. I feel the strength that he has. As long as he keeps fighting, I will
Cause it's
you and me and all of the people. Nothing to do, nothing to lose. 'Cause it's you and me and all of the people. Nothing to lose. Can't keep my eyes off of you. Thanks for your time, Andrew.